Hey everybody, I'm Tony Jones, and welcome to the Tony Jones Show.
It's not that people are willing to take the risk. It's sort of a herd mentality, a lemming-like mentality. If you don't go with the flow, you're anti-American and therefore a suspect.
The Tony Jones Show, featuring punk, rockabilly, psychobilly, and Providence, Rhode Island's finest, starts right now.
He's a dangerous militia member, I hear. Oh, and there she blows.
Friends, the time for mediocrity and broadcasting is over. My name is Tony Jones, and you are tuned in to the Tony Jones Show, your destination for talk and rock, online at TonyJones.org, Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones NRI. Oh, baby, coming out of a little Lee Fields, Standing by Your Side, the name of that one, man. It does not get any better than Lee Fields. R.J. Gregory just referred to it as baby making music. I mean, just what a better way to start off this week's show with the little baby making music in Leaf Fields. Now, before we get into the program, in studio with me this week, Lines and Lust are here. George Garner is here, but I got to thank you all for making the Tony Jones Show one of the top music podcasts in the nation earlier this week, topping out at number 11. Then we hit number 15. Today, the latest analytics have us at number 22, so I am counting tonight on George Garner and Lines and Lust to bring me into the top 5. A lot of pressure for this week's Tony Jones Show, trending on the iTunes charts and just the regular podcast charts in general. So, of course, I have to thank you all for that as we spin some of the best music around. But when we're not spinning music, we're chatting, we're talking. And tonight we're going to talk with Lines and Lust, who just had their debut show. I can almost say a mere 24 hours ago, this very band was on stage. Now they're here in studio on the Tony Jones Show. George Garner, good evening.
Good evening.
So tell us a little bit about Lines and Lust, and you guys just feel free to I'm not as regimented as the George Garner program. You know, he's a real professional. I'm more of a slob. So just feel free to jump around.
Hold on a second.
Feel free to jump on the mic.
First of all, before we need to clear something up here. Now
we just said I was a slob.
No. It's not even that. But on the Rhode Island Free Radio schedule right now, your show right now follows My Haunted Cabaret
live. Yep.
Right. Now, my question that we need to clear up is, when you say that the time for mediocrity is past, is that any reference to my show?
No, that is referenced to all of the, just about all of the
other
folks,
shows.
Not other shows, maybe not even necessarily other internet shows, but pretty much 95% of what you hear when you get in your car and you turn on that dial and hear. Well, we just heard some gunshots here in West Warwick, but when you turn that dial...
Yes, we have more serious problems here than my fragile ego.
We don't have to talk about my close to disgust for mainstream media when there's gunshots going off outside of the studio here. And we could do a whole show probably on the West Warwick booms, so there is a conspiracy theory in this area about chemtrails and about booms and different sounds and military practices that have been happening around West Warwick. Also, we are a mere 2 weeks removed from the 4th of July, so maybe everybody should just simmer down. True. Not only am I beating out Snoop Dogg even today, but and I've told this story on the air before, but I had a series of interviews with NPR. They really liked me. They liked my resume. They said they liked my voice, but they thought that I was too much of a, quote, loose cannon, unquote, to have the position. And now if you look at the iTunes charts, you see the Tony Jones Show, and well under that, you see a couple of NPR programs. So I'm not one to take a victory lap, but, man, you can't beat that.
No, and believe me, I've listened to NPR, and they need a few loose cannons. They really do.
Right? There's a lot of tight cannons, because they have sticks up their butts. So let's get back on track here. Lines and Lust in studio. George Garner is my special guest co-host. Whoever wants to hop on the mic, whoever can do the best job, tell us the current lineup of Lines and Lust, who they are and what they do.
Should we draw straws, or
let's just both talk at the same time?
Yeah,
that's
let's
good
confuse
for radio
everybody.
Listening.
Yeah, it'll be like The View, the male style.
Yes, this is definitely an excellent band.
No, as of the lineup right now, it's a really good lineup. I feel I'm playing with some of the best musicians that I've played with in a long time, including RJ on drums, and got Kate screaming her lungs out, fronting us. She's great. She's amazing. Don't let her fool you. And the newest members of our band, well, since it's a new band, that really doesn't make much sense. But, yeah, as you've probably heard before, we are former members of 1031. We tried to redevelop ourselves into something better, something greater, something far more superior than what we were. No, I'm kidding. But it's a different style than what we were doing, and bringing that dynamic to us. We've got Dan playing on bass with us, and we've got Andrew joining me on guitar. It's definitely brought a new dynamic and a new style to our sound.
We are now the best baby making music for people.
They're going to be opening for Lee Fields next door.
The safety pins embedded in their eyebrows and holding up their pants.
Now, that just dovetails into a perfect conversation I want to have because, for those of you who don't know, Tony Jones and the Cretan Three, through R.J. Gregory's house, share a practice space, and I was perusing some Lines and Lust merchandise this past week, and what did I see? And for someone with a little bit of a legal background, I saw some novelty balloons, and and I'm saying that to keep you guys from any lawsuits that may cause an issue where someone gets impregnated with your novelty balloons and then sues the band's Lines and Lust because they supplied the prophylactic. So talk a little bit about the...
wait, that's not what those are.
Talk about your latest addition to the merchandise here. And then there's...
Well, first off, Tony, there's no such thing as bad press.
You could have
the... If they get sued, they're not going to get much from us, but at least our name will be in the papers.
I mean...
It won't be the first time.
Removed from the Partridge Family, you could have the first ever band baby that is like co-owned by the band.
Well,
but,
we could always put on the packages, come on, get happy.
So tell us a little bit about this little piece of merchandise that I need to remove from my hand.
Well, we're trying to find something that's a creative outlet, something that's going to be different than all the other bands, because everybody's got stickers, everybody's got shirts, and, obviously we're a new startup band where don't have a lot of money and nobody's willing to support us yet. So if you want to, Lines and Lust on Facebook, we take money order, take PayPal. So anybody wants to help us out, we're all for it.
Now, just imagine if Chuckles the Clown was with us tonight. He could make this into a basset hound.
And also inadvertently...
Yeah, these are... And this is not a racist remark. These are clearly made in China.
International object. That's great.
I wonder if this would fit me.
George, I don't know.
Do we have audio? Do we have?
You gotta go for a higher standard than that.
We only have audio tonight, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
if,
so it's not
that's
worth
the
it for me to try
question,
this
yes,
on.
we only have audio tonight.
I want to see that too.
I mean, it's bad enough that George Garner is just wearing the shortest shorts possible this evening.
Hey, the man's got sexy legs.
Yeah, he's bringing back the 70s look.
I used to have sexy legs.
Nobody in a goat horse shirt.
Now I have I have former soccer player legs. I have athlete going to seed legs.
So, as we mentioned at the open, a mere 24 hours from the first show. Tell us a little bit about the first show and how it went last night.
Overall, I think it went pretty well. I mean, we were one of the first bands on, so unfortunately, a lot of people missed us.
I was lobbying for you guys to headline because I work a little bit later on Friday nights, so I was hoping you guys would be playing last night.
Yeah, that's a little time off. We got to build our chops first, but yeah, we appreciate everybody that came out to see us last night, supported a great cause, and had a chance to see us for our debut show.
And the Met is just one of the better rooms to play right now, along with Alchemy, which we'll talk about a little bit later on the show, but you guys will be there this Thursday night. We're going to talk more with Lines and Lust throughout the program. Of course, my co-host this week is George Garner, but as always, the Tony Jones Show is all about the music. A double shot on tap for you, brand new to the Tony Jones Show in Rhode Island Free Radio playlist. You can do the same. Go to rifreeradio.org, click on the contact page. We're going to hear from 61 Ghosts up next for you. Passion Tipped Arrow, the name of this one. You heard it here. And chances are you heard it here first on the Tony Jones Show.
So one last question I'll ask of you. I'll let you get some rest. Has my passion-tipped arrow been removed from your chest? Did you break it in 1,000? Did you let it turn to dust? And when you're smiling deep in your sleep, you don't think of us. Mumble names I do not know, sounds that tear me apart. And and your passion-tipped arrow has fallen from my heart. Pale moon glow, alabaster skin, and your breathing so sublime. Your lips, love, and future dreams I once thought were mine. Desire is just a waiting game, needs a flame to ignite. Silence save for stifled cries as you sleep through our last night. So one last question I'll ask of you, then I'll let you get some rest. Has my passion to arrow been removed from your chest? Show me your scars. What's your concern? I won't turn away. They've all been earned. They're not your flaws. Rest head on chest. Their noble cause is laid to rest. When your thoughts run like rivers, I will slow them down. When you lose your way, I'll turn you back around. When you drift away from shore, you'll be lost and found in my arms, baby, in my arms. Show me your scars. Vanish those scars. They're just skin deep. Let down your guard. Not yours to keep. When your thoughts run like rivers, I will slow them down. When you lose your way, I'll turn you back around. When you drift away from shore, you'll be lost and found in my arms, baby, in my arms. Show me your scars. Show me your scars. Show me your scars. Show me your scars.
A little 61 Ghost right here on the Tony Jones Show, a double shot of 61 Ghost. Scars, the track you've just heard. Last time we chatted, I brought you into Passion Tipped Arrow. I had a chance to see the legendary Bob Dylan earlier this week, and I got to say, put on a great show. It took him a little bit to get warmed up, but once he got going, he was Bob Dylan. Then after that, I took a stroll down the block a little bit and saw Rhode Island's own Bob Dylan, Mark Cutler. So I had a double shot of some just great music this past week. And
what does Bob Dylan play these days? The piano, the guitar on stage?
He switches it up, so you could tell he's a little bit labored. So he needs seems like he needs to take a break in between. So he'll play the piano for a little bit, and then he'll just sing. Then he'll kind of take a break. Then he'll play the guitar more towards the end. So he mixes it up between, the separate instruments, and then kind of catches his breath in between. A guy who's been smoking cigarettes for probably 60 years. It took him a little bit to get going, but once he warmed up,
I'm actually curious enough to ask too. He's written like 9 million songs. Like what? What did he decide to sing out of that big, huge, gigantic repertoire?
So the kind of urban legend is, and I had pretty decent seats. I think it seems like they decide the set as they go. So he'll kind of signal to the other guys, when he's taking his break, what the next set of songs are. So he just was kind of mixing it up kind of all over the place. But, I mean, just a fantastic night of music and probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience, because I got to say that on New Year's Eve when those death pools happen, I mean, for like 10 years now, Bob Dylan has been in the top 20 death pool for the next year, and but he's still out there doing it. So you're listening to the Tony Jones Show. George Garner is my co-host, and in studio with me is Lines and Lust, a brand new band, 25 hours removed from their first ever show. Tell us a little bit about, and you don't have to go into too many details because I know that there was some, as we say in music, band drama, but how did 1031 become Lines and Lust and kind of morph into just being a separate act with some of the same players?
Well, before we get into that, on that death pool, what's the odds on Keith Richards? Because I'm thinking,
he's going to be up there.
No, that's the sucker's bet. Don't do that.
No, as for 1031, there were some differences in the band, which, I mean, not to get into too many details, there was...
Or you can.
Well, no, I just want to try to let dead dogs rest. But, yeah, there were some personal differences in the band, and there was some changes that came along that didn't really work out too well, and we just kind of parted our ways, but... RJ and I, we've been playing together since back in Lucky United days, and
there's another lawsuit.
I didn't want to say it.
Yeah, well,
are you kidding? We have a revolving door of lawyers here. I mean, we're good. We're good.
Okay, a band that will remain nameless. You can edit that in the post, right?
And you guys have all, RJ, if you could chime in, have been in other bands throughout the years, right? I mean, I've been seeing you play for probably 10 years now. Talk a little bit about the other acts and the other genres you've been in over the years.
You played with Van Halen, didn't you?
Yeah, I wish.
And the Dixie Chicks.
Yeah, I mean, I started out with a band called Sidetrack. That was my first hoorah, and that was actually when Providence was a really good music scene, so I got to experience that. And then after that, we played a small little stint with Deadpan Sally. That's when I actually met you for the first time, because we played a show together. And after that, the magic happened, and next thing I know, I'm playing with the awesome Cretin 3.
The legendary.
The legendary, yes. The legend, not the award-winning, but legendary. although there is an award winner in our band who will remain nameless. But
well, we may not be award-winning, but we are charting.
Yeah, exactly.
So ask me which I would rather have.
Well, and I'm going to tell you what, as a drummer, I have the best of both worlds, because when you're a drummer, you're behind everybody.
Right.
So not only do I get to play with a male ass and a female ass, I get to stare at Tony's butt and Katie's butt. It's a win-win for me. So,
Now, out of respect to RJ, when we started this new, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 lineup, I went out and bought a proper belt. So he does not have to see my hairy butt crack. Unless he requests.
No plumber's exhibition there.
I always threatened to put a picture of a woman's butt on the back of Tony, because every time he would get into the music and kind of bend over, the shirt would come up, but the pants would be down around the back of his neck.
Well, what you do is when you just go kidnap a pair of Tony's pants when he's not in them, paint a couple of nipples on where the butt cheeks go. Just a thought. I'm thinking of you, RJ.
I got brave one day. I think, was it one show we were having? It was a really good show. It was at Firehouse. We were having a lot of fun, and I mean, we always have fun, but this particular show was really good energy. And you had the Lucha?
The human fly mask.
And for some reason, there was a break in the song. And I remember running out of behind the drum set. I don't know what I was doing, but I thought it'd be funny to crawl between your legs, and look up, and I think that was a bad mistake, because I quickly realized what I did and ran away. Yeah. But now we're in we had 1031. That was a fun band. We did a lot of fun things with that. And like Eric said, we went our ways, and Katie, Eric, and I, we really wanted to keep going. And I'll tell you, we were really lucky to find Dan. He was the first to come along. We needed a bass player. George is an excellent bass player, and Dan is he's an excellent bass player. It's really fun to work with him. He brought a new, different style of dynamic into the band due to his musical influences. And then Dan knew Andrew and brought Andrew in, and he's an amazing guitarist. He brings a fun sound to the band due to his musical background. He's big into ska and things of that nature. So he brings that kind of funk into the band, which is really fun. So
Baby making music?
We're getting there. The thing with having a new band is we're all experienced musicians. We've all done a lot of great things, but as a new band, you really got to just try a whole bunch of different things to fall into your sound. And we're at the point now where we have a set together that is a lot of fun, but we're not there yet. We have fun music, but I think our sound's only going to get better.
Well, it's evolving. Don't be so impatient. This is the way it's supposed to go.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, that's the other thing too. For the amount of time that this band has been going with this current lineup, to be able to play out and play a solid set of songs that sound good, I'm really impressed by it.
We have friends in this very building that have been playing for months and years and still don't have a set to actually play out with yet. So
they
a month
allowed
is
to play into the building. Last time I checked, we made the psychic mad, and she dealt us the death cards. But we're still here.
There's nothing worse than pissing off a fortune teller, right?
Plus,
honestly, the tower card is actually the worst one. But we'll talk about that on another time.
Plus, I think to our unnamed friends in this complex that are still struggling in the darkness. Isn't there a statute of limitations or something? You can only practice in the same friggin' practice space for so long before the landlord just says you're not going anywhere and throws you out.
I haven't seen you load your equipment into your car ever, so I'm throwing you out.
Yes, I disagree with the concept of you being in a band.
So next up for Lines and Lust is a show this Thursday at Alchemy, which, by the way, if you haven't been up there, the Old Jerkies, if you're local, fantastic spot. It's going to be November Party. Wolfman Chuck in his his spookalele, his that act. He has the plugged-in act too. And this next band, who is a good friend of ours here. Hopefully, they're going to be back in studio with us very shortly. Playing with Lines and Lust this Thursday at Alchemy is Shore City, and we're going to hear from them next. And when we come back, almost everybody in this room has been highly influenced by horror, and we're going to talk about that. And also, I have on tap for you, hopefully it works, the first ever recording from Lines and Lust. So if you're waiting for that, be sure and stay tuned here as we head into the second half of the Tony Jones Show. Back to the music now. Shore City, the ghost of John Crosland, right here on the Tony Jones Show.
bricks, defiant air. Build up a frame on that courthouse square. The scaffold stood on that courthouse side, only as wide as the door was wide. I told the frame and a little more of the captain still of the courthouse side. We all wondered if he had time. The criminal was a crime. That the judge with the yellow twist up and knotted rope inside your fist. And there he stood, John Crossland, the status quo didn't play. So we sit, we will be dread of the passing eyes of the buckshot men. Still want me crying and you see that you hang the rope on the gallows. The gallows stood on the courthouse lawn by the motto on Bill struck and gone. He gave away and no one spoke out of respect for the hanging clothes. And there he stood, John Crossland, the saddest ghost in England. Stepped down and he placed his hand on another man from another land. Again we breathe another's grief while the hangman's hand was on the blade. A twinkle grew in that buckshot eye. He gave a riddle instead replied. He serves the best cake and said, hey, we'll learn the rope on the gallows tree. And there he stood, John Crossland, the saddest ghost in England.
It started in an LA room. My son did his magic with some of my tunes. I liked the sounds that I heard. It somehow struck a real deep nerve. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. I started playing everywhere. Had to keep the music going anywhere. Let the world hear what I had to say. Gotta keep the music going every day. Had to keep rolling on. Had to keep singing my song. Had to keep rolling on. They say that music is good for the soul. Things like blues and rock and roll. That's why I have to sing my song. Pick up my guitar and play along. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. Later, I'm on my way. Been playing my music most every day. Let the world have a little cheer. Hope to be doing it for the rest of my years. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. some of my tunes. I like the sounds that I heard. It somehow struck a real deep nerve. Have to keep going on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep going on. They say that music is good for the soul. Things like punk and rock and roll. That's why I had to sing my song for Marie Michelle and Brian Young. Have to keep going on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song. Have to keep rolling on. Have to keep singing my song.
Keep Rolling On, the name of that one, the Papa Joe Show, right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, The Ghost of John Crosland, a band that'll be playing this Thursday at Alchemy. We heard from Shore City. Thank you all for tuning in and hanging out. Tony Jones here. Everybody, almost everybody in this room is, dare I say that Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 and Lines and Lust are horror punk bands. I'm straying away from that term over the years, but everybody in this room highly influenced by horror. Tell us a little bit how that played into 1031 and how that plays into Lines and Lust. If you go into the 1031 Lines and Lust, Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 practice space, you will see some of the best horror collectibles available. But tell us a little bit about the horror genre's influence on Lines and Lust.
Well, let's see. How are we going to explain this one? With 1031, it was kind of obvious.
More out there, right?
Yeah. Lines and Lust is Katie's love child. She came up with the name.
With those condoms you had here earlier, there's going to be a lot of love children around Providence. Sliding around.
But if you kind of look at our logo, there's like a rotten apple, almost like a poison apple kind of deal. So that kind of keeps the spirit of our horror side going. And every now and again, Katie throws a couple of references in her lyrics and things like that. So it's a little more hidden with this band.
Nuanced.
Yeah, with this band.
Well, lust is one of the 7 deadly sins, isn't it?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So I mean, again, there's little clues that are there. So we kind of leave you hanging, but. With 1031, it was a little more open, and we couldn't really come up with a band name, and 1031 obviously was for Halloween, and that's why we decided to go with that one. So we just rolled with that theme.
Yeah, but, nobody liked my suggestion, so we'll just leave it at that.
Oh, that's always a great just the build up to, and it's easier / harder today with technology. The build up to actually thinking of, okay, this is the band name that we're going to go with. So, for instance, our old band, the Gauners, with George Gauner and I, we were almost called Schmegma. And then instead of Schmegma, we were almost called Cheesy Secretion. And luckily we never landed on we went the Gauners instead of Cheesy Secretion, but the build up to thinking of band names, I can only imagine that for Lines and Lust you guys really workshop that stuff. So what are some of the names that were left on the cutting room floor? Any of them stick out to you?
Well, the safer ones that I could suggest were LaFours.
From Mallrats, that's
that I like.
Yeah.
That one we really liked.
LaFours and Marshall Willenholly was another one we wanted to go with. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then Katie and Eric really fell in love with, dare I say it, beef. I can't say it. Beef Squatch. They really fell in that one. What was it? Necrophilia
Elvis.
Yeah, there you go. Necrophilia Elvis. So there was.
That's gonna be a song.
Yeah, there was some quite a few colorful names.
Beef Squad.
Squatch.
Beef
Squatch. Okay,
yeah.
So beef and then Sasquatch.
Yeah, the Bob's Burgers influence.
I think I've dated a couple girls that were in the Beef Squad.
Now, while we're on the subject of names here, let me just point something out to any of our listeners who may be musically inclined and thinking of starting a band.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do it.
Well, first of all, like I mentioned on my show, it is one of the stupidest things to do. For every other reason other than the fact that you just want to have fun and do it.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the only reason to do it.
Mm-hmm.
However, there is always the chance. Now keep this when the subject comes up of naming the band. Keep in mind in the back of your minds, there is always the chance that you might actually make some noise. Right. You might put some music out there. You might actually accomplish something. I've seen this. Yeah, I know. Actually, Tony Jones himself has said that if he knew how successful we were going to be, he might have had second thoughts about naming the band the Cretin 3. But I'll tell you that. But that's nowhere. That's nowhere near the worst name I've ever heard.
Sure, yeah.
For a band, and this is I've seen this happen quite a few times. That a band started. Let's say they started getting bigger than their name was going to let them get, and then you run into trouble. So even if you're only, if it's only you 4 people sitting there in the basement, smoking a little devil's lettuce and throwing names around, as Tony likes to say, that's one I've adopted that from Tony Jones shamelessly, smoking the devil's lettuce. I mean, even if it's just you deciding what the name of and there's, and you're the furthest thing around from successful, still give a little bit of thought to this name.
Kind of like when our friends Vague Perception went back to Vague Perception off of their old name Richard Cranium. Just picture Don Pardo announcing Saturday Night Live and tonight's musical guest, Beef Squatch.
The funny thing about Lines and Lust is we were throwing around all the band names, and Katie is a really talented artist. So when we were coming up with band names, we were trying to have something that could be, like marketable with a logo and whatnot.
I think you succeeded because you've got something marketable with a logo that has all kinds of excuses and all kinds of other meanings for lines.
And double entendres. Yeah. So when I think of Lines and Lust, I think of cocaine and sex, and there's nothing more rock and roll than cocaine and sex. Right.
The funny thing is that's almost how we were at Friday's restaurant, TGI Fridays.
Because nothing says rock and roll like TGI Fridays.
It was a quick thing, but we were having lunch. It was a Sunday afternoon, like an old married couple. We went out to lunch, and we were talking about the band, and Katie goes, "I like Lines and Lust," and she's like, "Check it out," and she actually presented the Rotten Apple with the Lines and Lust the way it was written, and I was like, now that you put the whole thing in like a visual with the name, I'm like, it's really cool, and it's. And she's going to punch me, or maybe Baptista bombed me for saying this, but man...
International object.
Besides the drug reference, get that away. But, the name is very fitting for Katie. It is. 100%. It's it fits her perfectly.
Nothing says Lines and Lust like all-you-can-eat appetizers.
Well, we did that, and they were horrible, and we got them for free. Remember?
It could have easily been Lines and Dysentery, depending on the restaurant you went to.
No, but all you got to remember when you get in front of national media,
which we hope
in the future, when you're in front of national media, Lines has no relation to Coke.
Right.
The most classic example of this is like way back in the day. It took Paul McCartney, I think, 100 years to finally admit that LSD, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, meant LSD. Mm-hmm. He successfully argued about that all the time it took him to make his $1 billion.
Or Ozzy Osbourne with Suicide Solution. I mean, he fought the real story of that song till this day.
Yeah.
But, you could also take Lines and Lust as like making the joke about baby making music, The lines could be the lyrics, and the lust, maybe we have sexual kind of songs.
It's the line to get into your bedroom.
Cheap pickup lines.
Single file.
Yeah. And hey, that might be fitting too, because unfortunately, Katie hears them all the time at our shows. You get those guys that try to drop those cheap lines. So anyway you look at it, the name could go in 100 different directions.
I like that. I like that one. I like that one you just said. Yeah, that's
So I mean, the name is just it's a good name. It could mean a bunch of different things. Like when people would say, "Oh, why did you call yourself 1031?" And I'd go, "All right, stop and think about it." And they'd give me that blank stare, and I go, 1031.
It's our combined IQ.
And then they still wouldn't say anything, and I go, 1031, Halloween. Oh, my God, that's an awesome name. You know what I mean? But with Lines and Lust, you don't have to do that. And that's the way, and it fits with our music. I mean, we're just, our music can be taken in 100 different ways. And it's fitting all around. I think it's probably the best band name that I've ever, besides the Cretin 3.
I know I've told this story on the air before, but Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 back in the days when the Providence was hopping and Club Hell was hopping. I was walking into Club Hell late one night with a few of my closest friends, and someone speaking a little bit louder than they probably knew, or the music dropped at that point. They said, "Hey, here comes Tony Jones and those three cretins." And I said, "We've got ourselves a name." No offense to my friends, Dirty Dan and Yuck Yuck that were with me at the time, but yes, the what I heard was, "Here comes Tony Jones and those three cretins." I thought nobody used the word cretin anymore. They should have had that copyrighted.
And out of all the years I played with you, I never knew that's how you came up with the name. Because I've always laughed at it, because we're not a three-piece band anymore, But
well, no, our lineup varies. I mean, we've been as few as 3 people, including Tony, and as many.
A few nights I was in here
5.
as a one-piece.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you though. This lineup of the Cretin 3 is really good, man. It's a great lineup. So come check out the Cretin 3 and Lines and Lust.
And the most important thing about the current lineup of Tony Jones and the Cretin 3 is that everybody is taking their medication now on the regular basis. So, that's huge.
But we do have a bodyguard.
Let's, as I look at the clock here, I want to swing back to the music, because in just a few minutes' time, I want to say about 6 minutes' time, you're going to hear the radio debut of Lines and Lust. Now, in full disclosure, these guys sent me this track right before we came on the air. I downloaded it. I didn't have a chance to listen to it. So if it doesn't work, I apologize, and all the blame is on Lines and Lust. So don't send me the hate mail.
No, just Dan. He
send it to them. But before that, we're going to swing back to the music now with a little Ravi Shavi. Wow, my little comment about the medication, and a better segue could not have been made. This song is called Accidental Mental. You heard it here on the Tony Jones Show.
Great, now people don't think I take medication.
They leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain, so much pain until then again. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Real talk, it's hard to find. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental break. I said it's a breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental break. I said it's a breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Oh, they leave you insane. Don't hate the doctor, hate the game. Oh, this talk for so much pain until that game. Well, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to hear me. All the things that I'm saying, I'm staring down at your real talk. Ow! Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. I say it's a breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. I say it's a breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Real talk, it's hard to find. There's no one behind you. See her talking, she says to a friend, man, you pretend to be. Real talk is just another word. The hurt to be heard, the people to die for. See her talking, she says to a friend, man, you pretend to be. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown. Accidental mental breakdown.
Little Midnight Creeps right here on the Tony Jones Show. One of our favorites around here. Just Can't Get It Right, the name of that one. Tony Jones here. As I look at the clock, we are starting to run out of time. Most importantly, I want to get to what is up next, and that is the world debut of a little recorded Lines and Lust mere hours ago off of the recording studio. Through the magic of the internet, emailed to me here in the Rhode Island Free Radio Studios and ready for your consumption. Anything that you guys want to tell us about this track we're about to hear?
Yeah, it was recorded about 3 hours ago.
The quality's good, though. The quality's good. It's good.
And does this feature RJ Gregory, or does this feature a drum track?
No,
RJ.
This features me.
This is the real deal.
Yeah, we were recording it early this afternoon, so...
Got the drums in this morning around 11 o'clock or so, 12 o'clock, something like that. And then got it mixed about 3 o'clock, I don't know, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, but this track is a fun track. It's pretty straightforward, so there's not much to say, but it's kind of upbeat and it's a fun track. So.
All right, the debut of Lines and Lust right here on the Tony Jones Show on tap for you. You can tell everybody that you heard it here first on the Tony Jones Show. Here's a little Lines and Lust.
Right.
And that feeds my favorite 1031 song right here on the Tony Jones Show. Before that, you heard the debut of Lines and Lust, and with that, we are just about out of time. I want to thank you guys again. I have a second half, a page of notes here of stuff I want to talk to you about. So I hope you'll come back very, very soon. And don't forget that these guys will be at the Rhode Island Free Radio Show this Thursday at Alchemy with my good friends November Party, Wolfman Chuck, and Shore City. George Garner, I want to thank you as always.
My pleasure as always.
Just a blast. You know it's been a good show when my cheeks literally hurt from laughing all night. So thank you guys again, and I hope you'll be back real soon. Now, if you haven't got enough Tony Jones and you haven't got enough RJ Gregory, we will be at Paracon in just a few weeks' time. That's happening July 16th and 17th. The Assembly Theater in Burrville. Andrea Perrin, who lived in the Conjuring House, will be there. The folks from Taps. The Gettysburg Ghost Hunters, our own Chuckles the Clown, all run by Ken DaCosta, who's going to be in studio with us in just 1 week's time, and all to benefit a great domestic violence charity who these guys just raise thousands and thousands of dollars each and every year, just doing something they love. You know, we talked about it. We lamented that playing live music is just an excuse to do what you love. These guys, they do the same thing. They do what they love, but they connect it with just a great local charity, and it's just a blast to be there all weekend. And if you are a Conjuring fan, you want to talk to Andrea Perrin about the real story of the Conjuring House versus the film, and also what she has on tap. And she's like the most interesting person to talk to. I'm a little, and George, I know we talk about this all the time, I'm a little bit of a skeptic on the paranormal side of things. I just like to learn about it and hear about it. Right. And she's telling me a story about how they're in the Conjuring House and they're walking through, and in the dining room is a family, and the family's looking at them scared, and in that reality, in that parallel universe, they were the ghosts, and the family was the one that was scared. And as she's telling me that story, man, literally, I'm a grown-ass man, and it literally made the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. You know, it's like turning the lights on in the house, and I'm a grown man, and I'm afraid of the dark because of the story that Andrea Perrin told me. I'm afraid I'm going to see a family looking in at me. So
that real house is beautiful.
Yeah, it's a cool spot. Yeah, unfortunately, they beg that you don't drive by it, and I've driven by it.
I just want to say one thing too. At Paracon, I'm going to be debuting my Doc Lantern Curiosities, just a collection that I've amassed, I guess is the word, over the years of all things related to paranormal, the occult, funeral supply, all kinds of stuff, historical newspapers, regarding to H.H. Holmes and Lizzie Borden. I have quite a collection of things, so I hope you come by and check it out. I'm very excited to display it. So,
and at Paracon, I'll be hanging around. So,
hopefully my tent, because I do need like a Sasquatch. Kind of thing.
You need a beef squatch. All right, we got to get out of here. Thank you for tuning into the Tony Jones Show. Facebook.com/Tony Jones Show, on the almighty Twitter at Tony Jones in RI. Go to TonyJones.org, RIFreeRadio.org. Click on the contact page. And Ken DaCosta in studio next week, talking all things Paracon. We're going to leave here with the lovely and talented Meaghan Casey. This track is A Girl Named Sin. You heard it here on The Tony Jones Show. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Devil's head, he said, well, I ain't never gonna be lonely again. I need me a partner, and I'll need her in red. She'll be the finest thing you see, and I'll be the only thing she believes. Fell in love said so. What you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me sin and I will be your girl. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'd be losing me too. I do the devil's work and I'll do it for free. As long as you can always love a girl like me. Call me sin and I've been waiting for you to. Tempt and desire, so it's just a brush of fire. Well, don't be scared. Fell in love with everything you said so. What you need me to do, I will go on right ahead. Call me sin and I will be all yours. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'll be losing me too. Well, I can never lose you, 'cause I'd be losing me